Has Logan Paul truly changed? Or just mastered the art of making us believe he has? From the depths of public shame to the heights of billion-dollar ventures, Logan Paul's story has always been a whirlwind of controversy, reinvention, and spectacle. He's the guy who went from being globally shunned after the Akagahara forest scandal to becoming a WWE star, a co-founder of a viral sports drink, and a supposed genius entrepreneur, a living symbol of the Gen Z comeback dream. But what if that redemption arc was never real? Today, Logan Paul's name isn't being celebrated for a masterful business move or a philanthropic gesture. It's being dissected in court documents, ripped apart in investigative reports, and dragged across social media feeds. The CryptoZoo NFT project he once called life-changing collapsed in a sea of technical flaws, broken promises, and $18.5 million in investor losses. Prime Hydration, the drink that was supposed to cement his legacy, is now under investigation for false advertising, accused of hiding dangerous ingredients and facing lawsuits that could sink the brand. And yet, Logan keeps smiling for the cameras. This isn't just the fall of an influencer. It's a cautionary tale about trust in the digital age, where the line between inspiration and manipulation isn't just blurred. It's invisible. Long before the lawsuits, the refunds, and the hashtags calling him a scammer, Logan Paul was one of the internet's brightest stars. Born in 1995 in Westlake, Ohio, he wasn't just another kid posting videos. He was a force of nature. On Vine, the now-defunct 6-second video platform, Logan's mix of slapstick humor, wild stunts, and sharp editing made him a household name among teenagers almost overnight. When Vine shut down, others faded into obscurity. Logan? He simply shifted his energy to YouTube and built an empire. Every day, millions tuned in not just for his vlogs, but for Logan Paul the brand, a lifestyle of daring challenges, outrageous pranks, and a constant sense that anything could happen. He didn't just post videos. He staged events. He didn't just have fans. He had followers who treated him like a cultural leader of the digital age. But in 2018, everything crashed in what would become one of the most infamous controversies in YouTube history. Logan filmed himself in Japan's Aokigahara Forest, a place tragically known for lives lost. The footage, showing a victim's body, sent shockwaves across the world. He was condemned by media, dropped by sponsors, and branded as the ultimate example of influencer recklessness. Most careers would have ended there, but Logan began what seemed like an improbable redemption arc. He issued a tearful apology video, pledged to donate to suicide prevention charities, and publicly promised to change. Over the next few years, he carefully rebuilt his image, appearing in boxing matches, taking roles in WWE, and reinventing himself as a disciplined, business-minded entrepreneur. By 2021, the narrative had flipped. The headlines that once labeled him disgraced now called him reformed. He was proof, the media said, that anyone could earn a second chance. Or at least, that's how it looked. Because behind the scenes, Logan wasn't slowing down. He was plotting his next big moves. And the first one was about to cost people millions. In August 2021, Logan Paul took to his impulsive podcast with the kind of grin that told fans he was about to drop the next big thing. It wasn't a boxing match. It wasn't a new merch line. It was something far more ambitious and far riskier. Logan unveiled CryptoZoo, an NFT-based blockchain game he claimed was going to change lives. The pitch was simple but irresistible. In the middle of the NFT gold rush, players could buy digital eggs, hatch them into bizarre hybrid animals. Think a gorilla crossed with a kitten or a rhino with chicken wings, and then breed these creatures to earn in-game currency called Zoo tokens. These tokens could be traded or reinvested, promising a passive income stream for players. Logan made it sound like a win-win for everyone. He claimed he'd personally invested $1 million into the project. He boasted about a massive team working behind the scenes. He even branded it as both fun and profitable, a rare sweet spot that appealed to hardcore investors and loyal fans alike. The CryptoZoo website looked polished, colorful, and full of promise. A vibrant metaverse was coming in 2022, the roadmap said, and Logan's audience didn't hesitate. They trusted him. They believed the hype. Money poured in millions within weeks. Some fans emptied savings accounts. Others convinced friends and family to invest. But almost immediately, cracks began to show. The platform was glitchy. Nearly half the eggs wouldn't hatch. Rewards didn't appear. The interface broke down. And most damningly, the Zoo tokens, value, the lifeblood of the entire project, began to nosedive. The dream wasn't just struggling. It was starting to look like a nightmare. And soon, angry investors would realize their eggs weren't the only thing that had been scrambled. First, investors tried to stay patient. After all, glitches happen. Big projects hit roadblocks. And Logan Paul had promised this was just the beginning. But weeks turned into months, and nothing changed. The CryptoZoo community began to fill with desperate posts. My eggs won't hatch, Logan. What's going on? Where's the roadmap? Is this a scam? The once excited Discord server turned into a wall of complaints, refund demands, and disbelief. The losses were staggering. One Australian investor said he'd lost $500,000, $500,000 gone. Others lost $50,000, $40,000, $15,000, or their entire savings. Some had borrowed money to buy in, convinced they were funding the next big crypto hit. In total, $18.5 million vanished from the community. $3 million in NFTs and another $7.7 million in Zoo tokens. And Logan? He all but disappeared. No emergency livestream. No detailed explanation. Just the occasional cryptic message. Yo, or awake and shaking my head. While the project crumbled, rumors began to swirl about internal chaos. Whispers claimed developer Zach Kelling had withheld the source code over unpaid invoices. Others said parts of the team had vanished entirely. The man who promised a life-changing metaverse seemed to be moving on with his life, while his investors were left holding digital eggs that would never hatch. And then, in December 2022, the story took a turn no one saw coming when one of YouTube's most notorious investigative creators decided to make Logan Paul his next case. December 2022. While most influencers were winding down for the holidays, one YouTuber was gearing up to drop a bomb. His name? Coffeezilla, a creator with a reputation for dismantling shady crypto projects piece by piece. And his target this time was Logan Paul. In a three-part expose titled Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, Coffeezilla ripped into CryptoZoo with surgical precision. The revelations were brutal. The unique animal NFTs? Many were lazily edited stock. Photos slapped together in Photoshop. The smart contract code? Copied from a meme coin called Fakey Shib X. Logan's $1 million personal investment? Coffeezilla found no proof it existed. The development team? Included people with histories in failed or fraudulent crypto ventures. And perhaps most damning, blockchain records, showing a wallet linked to Logan sold Zoo tokens before the project even launched. A textbook pump-and-dump move. Coffeezilla didn't just point fingers. He connected dots. He showed how the project's theoretical gameplay loop sounded exciting on paper, but had never truly worked in practice. Glitchy interface, broken rewards, eggs that wouldn't hatch, and a token price that crashed into the ground. The videos went viral. News outlets picked them up. Investors started demanding answers louder than ever. When Logan finally responded in January 2023, many expected a heartfelt apology. Instead, they got a 7-minute counterattack. He called Coffeezilla the keen star of crypto, accused him of chasing clicks, and blamed former partners, labeling Eddie Ibanez a professional con artist and Zach Kelling a convicted felon. He even threatened legal action for illegally recording his manager. The video ended with Logan smirking at the camera, mocking Coffeezilla with an NFT of a cartoon duck. It was a PR disaster. Hashtag Logan Paul scam trended again. Public opinion turned sharper than ever. Within days, Logan released another video titled, "Thank You, Coffeezilla." This time, he took a softer tone, admitting his first reaction was emotional, apologizing, and promising $1.3 million in refunds, but only to those still holding their NFTs. For most victims who had already sold at a loss, there was nothing. Critics called it image repair, not restitution. And by early 2024, when the BBC invited him to answer questions, Logan declined, instead sending a lookalike to mock their crew. By then, CryptoZoo was all but dead. But Logan had already shifted his focus to something bigger, flashier, and far more mainstream. By early 2022, CryptoZoo was a ghost town, but Logan Paul wasn't. If there's one thing Logan has mastered, it's distraction through reinvention. And this time, his pivot was bold. A glossy, mass-market sports drink brand called Prime Hydration, launched alongside fellow influencer KSI. The pitch was irresistible to their massive combined audience. Low sugar, high electrolytes, better than Gatorade, and backed by two of the internet's biggest personalities. Prime wasn't just another beverage. It was marketed as a cultural phenomenon. The rollout was explosive. Logan and KSI plastered Prime across TikTok, YouTube, UFC octagons, WWE arenas, and even the stadium of Bayern Munich. Every post was a spectacle. Hype videos, taste test challenges, and over-the-top reactions. Fans bought into the brand's snack spin-off, Lunchly, also came under fire when mold was discovered in packaged kits, prompting product recalls. Social media exploded with PrimeCam videos, consumers opening bottles to reveal foul smells, odd colors, and visible contamination. Instead of addressing the issues head-on, Logan seemed to sidestep them entirely. He continued to post upbeat promotions, appear at events, and mock competitors, while avoiding direct responses to mounting safety concerns. What was once the people's drink was now being called a hidden danger in a bottle. And the hits to Prime's reputation weren't just coming from regulators and critics. They were about to come from some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. By mid-2024, Prime wasn't just fighting bad press, it was fighting for survival. In June, Logan Paul and KSI took aim at one of the biggest names in sports, Lionel Messi. They filed a lawsuit against MS Plus, a sports drink brand Messi endorsed, claiming the bottles looked too much like Prime's. But the move backfired. Messi's team and Mark Anthony Brands hit back with a federal countersuit, accusing Prime of defamation, false advertising, and trying to crush competition through intimidation. An independent survey revealed that 87% of consumers saw no confusion between the two products, undercutting Logan's entire legal argument. The backlash was swift. International headlines called it a legal stunt to strangle creativity, turning Prime into a symbol of corporate bullying. Meanwhile, the numbers were collapsing. UK sales had dropped 70%. US sales had been slashed in half. And the hype-driven scarcity that once made Prime cool had now left it rotting on clearance shelves. Then came the biggest blow yet. A $67 million lawsuit from Prime's own bottling partner, Refresco. The allegation? Prime had breached its production contract by failing to meet agreed quotas. Industry insiders said it was a symptom of reckless expansion, oversaturating the market with too many flavors, misjudging demand, and alienating consumers. Analysts began comparing Prime to Supreme for drinks, a brand built on hype destined to fizzle. Experts pointed to a fatal flaw. Prime had never truly defined its audience. Was it for athletes? For kids? For casual consumers? Its identity was tied almost entirely to Logan Paul and KSI's fame, meaning when their credibility took a hit. So did the drink. By the end of 2024, lawsuits, plunging sales, and production disputes had Prime teetering on the edge. And for Logan Paul, the cracks in his empire were starting to look unfixable. But the truth is, this wasn't just about one product failing. It was part of a much bigger pattern. Prime's collapse didn't happen in a vacuum. It followed the exact same script we'd already seen with CryptoZoo. The formula was simple. Launch with explosive hype, promise something revolutionary, ride the wave of influencer trust, and then, when problems emerge, disappear behind deflection, silence, or carefully crafted apologies that fix nothing.